And now we're excited to dive into our third panel, Women Entrepreneurs and Funding, Strategies for Accessing Venture Capital, moderated by Yuriy Romanyukha, Managing Partner at ICLUB Global. Yuriy's experience in the investment world will provide valuable context for our discussion. Please join us. And joining him are Andrei Kouzel, angel investor and co-founder of Flow Health, who will share his perspective on funding and supporting women-led ventures. Liza, co-founder and chief technology officer at Malloc, a tech entrepreneur with hands-on experience in building and scaling a successful female-led startup. Natallia, Cvetkovich, lawyer at Zubr Capital Investment Company, bringing her expertise in legal and financial frameworks for investment. Kyriaki, senior officer of digital policy at the Deputy Ministry of Research, Innovation and Digital Policy. Enjoy.
Yes, again, that's will be a more practical experience and maybe discussion that I try to fulfill. Definitely want to share some tips and tricks how to fundraise, especially this year, because we have great panelists that have a lot of experience in this field and a lot of to share as a knowledge. And for sure, maybe I can start with a short summary and introduction about each of you guys. Maybe you can share some bits about your fundraising experience or program that you have run into, specifically for the founders. And as you are the founder, probably how much money you raised already. So like just really briefly about your background experience with the topic of fundraising.
Should be switched.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Natallia Cvetkovich, and I'm a lawyer at Zubr Capital Private Equity Fund. I'm actually head of legal. That's what I saw. They say I'm a lawyer, so okay, let's accept that. We are a private equity fund, so we basically invest on the later stages, the Series A, Series B stages. The strategy is tech companies, so most of our portfolio companies are this or that way related to STEM. So thank you very much for inviting me. It's very nice to be part of this panel, and I hope we shall have a productive
And
discussion.
question specifically to Natallia, what is the average check for Zubr Capital? If you are investing in a company, maybe the founders here, what they have here, maybe consider this option for them.
Well, I would say an average would be 7 to 8 million.
7 to 8 million euro. Like if you have project that consider investment from the 7 to 8 million, please chat with Natallia.
I don't have the money now, but you can, yes.
But we can bring, of course. Okay, Andrew.
Hello. My name is Andrei Kouzel. I'm angel investor and co-founder of Unicorn Flow Health. Recently, I've been focusing on women-led startups, and my goal is to invest and make successful at least 10 startups with female founders.
Thank you. Yeah, Andrew, and what is your average check and what stage you consider startup to invest in?
Okay, I invest in pre-seed and seed, and my check is from 20 till 50 K.
I think that's a precise for the early stage MVP stage company, definitely. Thank you so much. So moving forward, Liza, can you share your background with the topic of fundraising and how much money did you raise for your company?
Hello everyone, I'm Liza, CTO and co-founder of Malloc. Malloc is a data privacy and cybersecurity company. We started here in Cyprus in 2020. Malloc protects individuals and company data from leakages, data leakages and unattended transmissions. So Malloc raised almost 2 million in 2021 from Y Combinator. We were the first Cyprus company that joined Y Combinator. I'll say thanks to COVID, because we were one of the first virtual budgets. So that was a great opportunity for us. And it's a pleasure to be here today.
Thank you so much, Liza. So we have founders with a YC, Y Combinator experience as well on this panel discussion. So moving forward, thank you. And the question to you, Kyriaki, like what your projects and programs that you're running through the ministry?
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Kyriaki Pantziarou from the Ministry of Digital Policy, so I'm from the government sector. I'm coordinating the digital transformation projects and all the initiatives that have to do with digital skills and infrastructure in the country and in government. So the whole pillars that included in the digital transformation of the country. By saying that, on the digital skills and re-upskilling initiatives, we have some millions on different initiatives, specifically from the Recovery and the Resilience Funds. And from there, we are making several actions, and we will present some today, and we are also very open to hear more from you and to cooperate more on that.
Thank you so much, Kyriaki. I definitely feel that we have an A team here that can help any startup or any ideas come up with experience that share not just perspective of the early stage, but the growth stage, and of course government, that completely fulfill this gap with the fundraising part that I'm always hearing about that question from founders. So also introducing myself, my name is Yuriy Romanyukha. I'm over the decade in venture capital. Running right now the ICLUB, it's angel investor syndicate that invests around 30 companies annually on an early stage and growth stage, mostly from US, but also in Europe as well. So if we're talking about the topic of fundraising, I think it's very important to fulfill the understanding how exactly it works. Maybe you can give some tips and advice on what specific area the founders that are just planning to start something should be focusing on, especially with this kind of condition of market that we have and not so many investors. But definitely, I would like maybe pointing out this question to Andrei, to you, and then we can shift to the other panelists.
Okay, so it's a founder's job to raise capital. And here we can only focus them on what is important. And I want to share some tips or advice that are specific for women. The first one is use your superpower. You know that...
Someone already did that.
Yeah. So, you know that women outperform men in sales. Why? Because women have a natural skill of empathy and active listening. And empathy is the critical skill for sales. And fundraising is also a sale process, so you can use this skill to fundraise successfully. You know that women are the great consumers. They are great consumers, and that's why they understand the market. Actually, women control over 50% of consumer spending in the United States. I guess in Cyprus the same. So they control spending on categories like healthcare, vacations, and new homes. And I suspect that women are very good at B2C model because of consumer. But eventually, any B2B ends up in consumer. So this is the benefit for B2B model as well. I know, okay, famous investor Peter Lynch known for his exceptional performance managing the Fidelity Magellan Fund, got insights from his wife, Carol Lynch, to make better investment decisions. Peter Lynch says that investing is what you know, which means looking for investment opportunities in everyday life, including the products and services you or people around you use regularly. So, ladies, you don't go shopping, you go research the market. Call it like this.
Okay.
So, one more superpower is that men often don't understand women. Men often don't understand women. This is a huge problem, but this is also great opportunities for women to make business.
Okay, sounds powerful. Thank you.
And femtech industry is projected to reach 60 billions by 2027. Flow Health was founded by men, but the success of Flow was grounded on the wise women, our partners and wives.
Thank you.
Here's my wife sitting here.
Yes, amazing. Thank you so much, Andrew. Maybe, Kyriaki, I also want to ask you, in terms of your perspective on female founders, specifically in STEM, what do you feel like the government already, I think you did a lot, specifically for any kind of in STEM precisely. I know that you're running some projects, some program like Horizon, especially in Europe, that already fulfill this gap with different programs. But definitely want to hear your opinion on the topic of fundraising for the STEM perspective in Cyprus.
So Malloc started from an idea. So nothing was ready, it was all up to us, and we started from scratch. We got our first funding from RIF here in Cyprus. We got our first 100 grand. And we had to find, I think it was 75% of it was funded, and then we had to cover the remaining part. So we had to find from somewhere the remaining funds. And we started joining accelerator programs in Cyprus. We earned quite a few prizes on that. And that money allowed us to create our proof of concept. And with that starting funds, we got the chance to pitch to Y Combinator and be part of it. Ever since we have also received support from Google. We joined the Google Accelerator program this year, and they provide great mentorship. We've also received some support from AWS. So big companies are out there and can provide support to female, and not just female founders everywhere. Google did a specific batch for women because women face, let's say, some extra challenges.
And maybe just short link to another panelist, from the corporate structure perspective, your company incorporated in Delaware or in Cyprus? Just to understand the curriculum of YC, how they reflect on this topic.
So when we started in Cyprus, we founded Malloc Limited in Cyprus, but in order to receive funds from Y Combinator, you need to be incorporated in the US, in Delaware. So we had to create Malloc Inc. there, and now Malloc Limited is a subsidiary of the mother company Malloc Inc. That allows us to, well, we use that as an advantage because we can have access to US investors whilst also complying to the extra standards of EU for privacy and the GDPR and all that. So we use that to our benefit.
For sure, because it's very important, especially for the customers. So maybe question to Kyriaki, to you, if we are talking about this perspective of Cyprus, specifically for the area that's right now changing dramatically. For example, we have no visa for US-based investors to come to Cyprus. We have zero visa for Chinese investors to come to Cyprus from this year. What do you feel about that? Like how this can improve the number of funding rounds specifically for the STEM founders in Cyprus?
Okay. We are in the process of changing the visa scheme because it's been recognized that we have to attract more talents from abroad, especially in the ICT sector. We are facing a huge problem on the supply because there is a huge demand on ICT specialists, but the supply in local staff, we are facing a problem. So that's why we are revisiting the startup visa scheme. And also we are trying to concentrate in the re-upskilling or upskilling of our resources locally. And one example was a pilot program that we have run this year. It was a cooperation between the government and the private sector, where we have chosen a number of economics, and we have trained them for in data analytics. It was see if we can re-upskill and change the career of the people. And to be honest, we have achieved our target. The people that were trained were then employed by the private sector, because this was the deal. If somebody complete the project, the training, and pass from the exams, then they could be offered a job. So this has been done, and we are considering of make it more in a more scale up the project next year. So more trainings will be done, and in order for them to change a career and then to being employed in the ICT sector.
Nice. So I think that you've done a tremendous work, specifically rolling a model like YC, the government that's trying to bridge this knowledge and skill its workers to Cyprus that definitely need to have. And investors, I think, as well. But you also pointed out about the scale-up companies. I think, Natallia, it's a better question to you. I'm always asking the question about the structure of the board members when this comes to the point of the growth stage companies, and how females leading these board seats, especially with a company that, for example, doing 100 million and above IRR. What do you feel about that, and how we can fulfill this, especially gender gap in the board position on very senior senior executive level? Because I feel that that's a chance and opportunity for every experienced founders or personality to join this company.
Yes, exactly, and thank you for this question, because it's really to the point. What we do as private equity fund, we don't focus on founders anymore. These people done their jobs. They've been, the pioneers in the area, and now we're focusing on the management. So what's important for us is the board, the C-level, and the other managers who are in the company. So basically, I've done some maths, and I've seen that around 40% of board in all our portfolio companies, okay, we have 20 portfolio companies, but let's say around 35 to 40% are women, either from the company, the representatives, or from our side, which is let's say, a good tendency. I don't participate in those boards, so I've made a poll. I asked around my colleagues about how they feel with women being on the board, what do you think is their strengths and weaknesses, and I got very interesting responses. Half of them were like politically correct and gender neutral, like I don't care the gender, I need to know, I need to have the qualities, the personality, and so on. The others were more creative. So I made a list, basically, of qualities that they value in women on the board. The first is them being very disciplined. Disciplined, organizational, they are very, to the point. My colleagues say that when there is a board with a woman, it's always stick to the agenda, the time management is perfect, there is no swearing, there is no fighting, they go one by one and we solve in very efficient way. And I was trying to think of it, because usually we say that men are more organized and women are like more emotional and making chaos into any meeting. And then we were thinking that maternity is something that can hinder your career. But I would disagree here. Maternity is something that gives a woman some strengths and abilities. If you can handle a husband and 3 kids to school, out of school, all the classes, all the, you need to know what the teacher's name, how much you pay here, how much you pay there. If you manage to do homework with your kids, you can manage any board. But there's many men as they are there.
The top player of negotiation skills.
Okay, that was the first one. The second one, and this basically relates to what Andrei said, is empathy. So the world is so cruel now, right? It's very, very harsh on everyone, even the men. It's so competitive that you do need someone maybe to give you a smile during the board meeting, maybe inject a joke, maybe show compassion, and this is very valued, especially by men.
Yes.
And the last one, I would say, yes, also the guts. Yes. We have the guts, we have the intuition, and we reach some very unconventional decisions and ideas. And I'll give one example afterwards. And the last one was, again, as you said, I don't know if you peed into my notes, is the women are very sophisticated consumers. Most of the things we do, even in STEM, is basically for women, for the sake of women, or done by women. And here comes one of my examples. It was a board meeting of Zubr, so we were considering to invest into a company which was developing an application for loss of weight. And you have to input some data, and then this application gives you, let's say, ingredients and the instructions, how you cook, what stuff you, and when you eat. And everybody, the male side, they were looking into figures, looking into graphics. Yes, the dynamics is like this. We shall have a unicorn in a couple of months. All the figures match. It's brilliant. And then one of my colleagues, women, she steps up and said, okay, I prepared for this meeting. I tried. I downloaded this app, and I tried. And you know what? It gave me the ingredients, 10% of which I don't even know what it is. 20% of this, I'll lose more weight trying to run around the city and finding those ingredients, and my husband will then lose weight eating it. So basically, she introduced some solid, mind.
Background experience thinking, with the consumer.
Yes, into it. I can't say that that was the decisive argument, but we started looking into the strategy. We started to see how the AI works, why it, generates the ingredients which are so complicated to find. Let's say they're not country specific. So this is something that a woman introduced, and that was helpful and valuable.
It sounds very inspirationally right, because I think that if we're talking about empowerment of STEM topic, it should be not just coming up from the founder's perspective, especially from the women's, but also from the top executive layer, because the board seats, it's definitely something that needs to be explored. For the STEM perspective company, definitely something. And I agree with all your topics. I think that will be, maybe next decade will be definitely a topic of discussion, and there will be a lot of changes. And I remember you mentioned also the policy of institutional investors that apply for that. So can you please elaborate on that?
Yeah, sure. So we have basically 2 funds already. In the first fund, we had EBRD is the European Bank of Reconstruction and Development, and one more, DFI, as an investor. So what they were doing, they were sending us different questionnaires on a regular basis, let's say annually. And among the questions that they put in those questionnaires were, how many women do you have in staff? How many of them hold a C-level position? How many of them are partners? And now, if your investor asks a question like that, you think,
Institutional one.
institutional investor. So probably you need to work on that. As a result of that, you know what happened. On the website of Zubr Capital, we have more pictures of women because we do have C-level women. We do have, yes, partners are male. This is what we're not perfect, but we do have many women in the C-level. So all their pictures, the nice photos are now on the website, thanks to EBRD. So what we're doing now, we're doing the same to our portfolio companies. We show them, we ask them questions, we make hints. Our HR works with them on selecting the better, the candidates and trying to improve that they're motivated to promote women, so that the responses to the questions asked by us and asked from EBRD, because they ask about all portfolios.
Of course, it's all
are satisfactory.
Yes.
Yes.
Natallia, thank you so much. It's a very important topic that we need to harass. I think that we run out of time, unfortunately, but I have the last question, a very brief question that I want to run through this side of the panel and go through the here. So the question is the following. What do you feel about the trends, specifically in ITC sector and STEM? What exactly founders or companies should be focusing right now, especially with the technology that we see in the market? So maybe just a few words and we will end up this conversation.
Okay. For these specific areas of specialization, let's say, in the ICT sector, we have conducted a study last year, and where we have asked the companies of the IT companies about their needs. So in the IT sector, there is a need for cybersecurity, of course. It's the new, let's say...
Everywhere.
Yes, okay. The AI, of course, artificial intelligence. Now we have the new legislation from the EU, NSN government. We have to meet the needs of the new regulation, and we are also looking for specialists on the AI, so cyber, AI, other emerging technologies like cloud. Also, the government is moving to cloud. So the needs for the market are also the needs for the government. Always we have a need for project managers, because we are running a lot of projects, and it's very difficult, and there are strategic projects, big ones with millions of euros projects, that we need a very good project management.
Thank you so much, Kyriaki. That's definitely what was to mention, and it's a good trend. Liza, from your perspective, if you will be in the shoes of a founder that just to start something, what is the trend and industry you will consider for yourself as a founder of new stuff or new company?
The first and most important thing is believe in yourself.
Yes.
You can do it.
Yes.
That's a thing, the most important thing. Once you believe that you can do it, build your support system. It's very important to have people around you to support you, to inspire you, to help you. Reach out to, even to big bodies and the government. Reach out. Most of the times, if you ask, they will help. So this is also one. The other thing is, women, I don't know, sometimes we are thought to be very competitive. So I would say collaborate, support each other, preach for each other. We're all busy, I know it. Being here today, I'm thinking about the things I haven't done this morning, but reach out to other women colleagues. When we started Malloc, there wasn't anyone that has done what we've done in Cyprus. So we're looking beyond the boundaries of the country. So If you look up to someone, if you think that you want to do something that someone else has done, go out there and speak to them. Be next to them. I think that's the most important thing from my side.
Thank you, thank you. Andrei, just a few words. Thank you so much, Liza.
About trends, there is only one trend, it's AI. And I think that women should lead this trend. And probably you know Mira Murati, she's Albanian engineer and researcher and tech executive. She served as CTO of OpenAI. And this is a great example of how to lead this trend.
Yes. I think it's a sophisticated example. Thank you so much, Andrew. And Natallia, your output about the trends and what you feel, not just about board seats, but industry itself.
I do think that the trend will be to promote very critical and analytical thinking in all areas, and that there will be a strong need of professionals which are specifically trained to handle the tasks in the business. So I do hope that we shall have more educational programs, that we shall have more studies and more initiatives and projects to help educate people, both men and women, yes, and promote all our businesses in all areas.
Amazing. So it was a very brilliant conversation. Again, thank you so much for your inputs and insights. I definitely want to empower and call to action everyone, because STEM itself is a challenge, but the outcome is always global, and you will have a lot of different connections, different stories with a global footprint if you choose in STEM. So thank you so much for this conversation. It was brilliant done. Thank you.